Hey everybody, welcome to Kapow and the Sheriff Jonathon Horton Show. Jeff Underwood and this guy over here looking at NFL draft. Sheriff, I think he's looking at betting sites.
Well,
Jerry White.
yeah,
CBS.
as long as he's got a permit and it's all paper, he's good.
Better than the
Don't
Texas,
count on it.
Better than the Texas Tech quarterback.
Oh, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That's fair.
That's better. So again, this is the Sheriff Jonathon Horton Show,
That's right.
and we're so excited. Show number 2. The first one's still getting views, man. You believe people like you?
No, I can't.
Well,
I
look
don't.
at it. I mean, I didn't
He
know
does
we were
look good.
supposed to dress up today. I thought we were just on a casual show. Everything's just going to go good. I show up for breakfast this morning. We had a little breakfast early. He walks in like he's preaching or burying somebody. I'm not sure.
Either way,
He could
he
preach.
could.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jonathan, why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest today?
So happy to have with me today Commissioner Tim Ramsey, and Tim, he is our commissioner, but he's also been a great friend of mine for a while. We have one thing in common. I became the chief of Rainbow City, and he was already a councilman there, and both of us ran in 18 for county government. I ran for sheriff, and he ran for county commission. We both won together. We both got appointed together. And, he and all the commissioners have been a huge help to me in the sheriff's office. They really have. There's nothing I've ever asked for that was within the boundaries that they haven't given me. And but then being sheriff, one of the hugest issues, and I think maybe it's something we might could talk about a little bit today, that Tim's been a big help in, and that's mental health.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that on my last show. There's those things that happen in the community where we respond, and a lot of times there's two choices.
Yeah.
You want to go to jail or you want to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because we don't have a lot of mental health facilities, some individuals that struggle with just mental health end up in jail. And the county jail is not designed to be a mental health facility. And of course, being sheriff, you just want to make things there to be as safe and secure as they can be, but you also want to provide opportunity for folks, because we live amongst them. When they get released, if there's an opportunity to get them stable, if it's to get them diagnosed, if it's to get them to what we call a baseline, then that benefits the entire community. And I think Tim has excelled at that, because he's not only a county commissioner, but he, on the state level with the Alabama County Commissioners Association, he can tell you more about that, but I know that he is on the board for the state mental health, and he could tell you probably a little bit about what's called Stepping Up, or the Focus program that we're a model program for here with Cherokee, Etowah, and DeKalb, and it's been very successful. Of course, the probate judge plays a big part in that. Community corrections, Ms. Bosberry, as we spoke about, she plays a huge role in that. But Tim plays a huge role in that, and as a county commissioner with regular responsibilities to provide his leadership at a state level and to help bring back some of that funding and put these programs in our jail, because what it does for me is it helps get people that shouldn't be in jail out of jail, so that it makes the jail a lot safer and gives that individual an opportunity to be successful. And I know that's a lot, but Tim does a lot.
Yeah.
And
That's a heck of an introduction.
Woo.
You didn't even know that about yourself,
I
did you?
didn't know all that. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Heck
That's
yeah.
really great. And, talking about Terry Bosberry, I was talking about her the other day. We had the annual meeting for CED. They reappointed the officers of CED Mental Health Board, which I'm the chairman again. But we're moving in the right direction. But Terry's on the board with me, and I talked about Terry at that meeting about this program, about focusing and all that stuff. She's the one that is just threw the match on the gas. She's the one that poured the gas on it and just threw the match out there, really kicked it off and got it going. 1,000 thanks to Judge Hassel for his bringing it in and just doing the things that he did. I got even a side story about that. But on Terry, she went back and just looked at, what he was doing on the civil side, on his side of the street, they call it. And she said, I need that on the other side of the street, over by the jail, the community. She's in community corrections.
Yeah.
She said, I need that program. And so that we started talking about it, and it just grew. It just really, it was a fantastic thing the way it grew. I'm sure you remember this, Sheriff. We were even talked about this the other day too. The first time we met to talk about this, we met in the sheriff's media room, whatever it is, right there in front of the
multi-purpose room, yeah.
And in that room was the sheriff, maybe his chief deputy, the person over the jail, community corrections, CED mental health, somebody from the state mental health, the DA, the people that give medical treatment in the jail,
Mm-hmm.
the people who do mental health treatment in the jail. I don't know, there was 15, 20 people in the room, just a core group of people that were looking at this problem. We met for lunch at 11:30. We stayed for lunch. It was 4 hours long. The meeting was just, everybody walked out of the meeting going, holy cow, this has got legs. We're working together. And I think that's what really spurred the growth here. And it just pulled everybody together. Kim Hammock from the State Mental Health Board has become a great friend. She was there, and she kind of just saw what was happening there and came back, and a little while later said, we want to start a pilot program with you guys because you're working together, you're doing what we need, and we'll fund 5 positions for you from the state just to get this going.
That's huge.
We couldn't have done this without that. And so part of that, just is the work that we're doing together. Yeah. It's not just the sheriff and I, it's the whole commission. Yeah. It's community corrections, it's the DA, it's the whole group pushing for what's much needed. I mean, we see this week, what happened this week?
Sure.
Guy drives off the bridge. Yeah. The sheriff gets in a crash from a guy dancing in the street. A guy, over, I think, on the east side, barricaded himself in the house and set it on fire. Yeah. We're in the epidemic. We're doing what we can, and it's an exciting time to be part of it. Yeah. Which in truth, I get a lot of flack because I said I'm going to be done with this county commission thing. 2 terms and I'm out. I swore to it. I gave my signs to a guy that keeps bees so he could, he could use them somehow. I don't know what he's going to do with them.
Interesting.
He had a stack of them, but I was done with it. I've used it to insulate my barn walls, the old signs and stuff. Just done with them, and I got involved in this, and I can't walk out of it.
There's more to do.
If people vote me out of there, I got lots to do. I got family to play with. I got a lot of life out there. But I can't walk out in the middle of this. It's not right. Yeah. So, I'm up again. I'd love to continue this path. We're doing some good stuff, and I'm excited about it.
And I think that's the key thing he said is everybody working together on the same team, pulling in the same direction. And Terry and I, over the last couple of years, we were able to make a site visit to LaSalle, Illinois, and look and see how other people are being successful with that. And I know a lot of people have questions about the jail and what's inside of it as far as the care that's provided. We're very fortunate because we've had this long-standing relationship with ICE that goes all the way back from 1994.
Right.
And that relationship required the jail to have regular inspections every quarter and to provide specific services to be able to house federal inmates. And so we're one of the only jails that has 24-hour medical care. We have a doctor that's assigned to our facility around the clock. We have a couple of nurse practitioners. We have several nurses. We have a full suite of medical services to include mental health. That was already there. As far as a therapist from River East Regional Psychiatric, Dr. Chili. We have dental services. A lot of jails in Alabama is just like municipal jails. You call 911, the ambulance shows up, we follow them to the hospital.
Yeah.
We've got Lucas devices. We've got Narcan. We've got an infirmary, essentially, where people can be housed in medical. Oh. Now, if you've got to have open heart surgery or you've got to have your appendix removed, you're going to the hospital.
Right.
But there are things that during the day, if you get in a fight and it happens in jail and you need 8 stitches and the doctor's there, it can take place right there.
Yeah.
And that saves the citizens, but it also gives immediate care even within the detention center to people that are deserving of it.
Yeah.
And now we came along with this help with the Alabama Department of Mental Health and Tim's input on the state board, and we've brought in additional funding in these positions he's talking about. We have a therapist that's now assigned to the detention center. We have an inside case manager that when a person comes in and they're doing booking, an assessment takes place and they realize, hey, they've got mental health issues, they've got substance abuse, and most of them are what you call co-occurring. They got both. Then that person gets set aside so that therapist can come in and see them. That inside case manager can start plotting out a plan And so I'm managing the detention center with Terry. She's managing the people that are out in the free world that are still accountable. They have to come
Right,
see her every
right,
month.
right.
So then she hooks up with them, and that outside case manager takes charge and starts monitoring this individual outside of the facility. And as long as they get to the baseline, what we call, and might need some titration for a year, we keep up with this individual. And if they do what's right at the end of that year, they're out of the nest and flying, and now we've got a productive citizen instead of someone that's just in that vicious cycle of in jail, out of jail, in jail, out of jail, in jail, out of jail. And our police officers out on the street, they've only got the criminal code to go by. If nothing else, disorderly conduct,
Right.
obstructing governmental operations, resisting arrest. Really what they're doing is whatever it takes to get you out of society right now because you're out of your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
But then we put them in this box and send them right back to that circle. So yes, it's a little bit of an investment, but then we've brought funds in from the Alabama Department of Mental Health. I went to a National Sheriff Institute class for jail management. Just came back from one yesterday. Best classes in the world. It was communicating for impact, but the first one was leadership. But when I come back from that jail management class, was able to connect with the National Institute of Corrections, get an operational assessment of the jail. We had gotten a grant called Building Bridges. Some of those things got dug, but it paid for those site visits to get out here and go to other communities, see what they're doing that's successful. And I just couldn't be prouder of what we've got going on in Etowah County. We've got great people on the ballot that might not win.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, the ones that's in office right now, they have put their bygones, if you will, aside, bygones, whatever the word is, and they're working together because they want and they realize that we either win together or we lose together. It doesn't matter what city you're from within this county or if you're from the county. We're all in the same county and we're all working. And as long as we pull in the same direction, we can see great things happen.
Yeah.
I know when I took office, that jail, as I told you before, 865 beds. Now it has 972, but it had over 1,100 people in it.
Yeah. Wow.
Today we got about 830 again. But nobody's double bunked. Nobody's sharing a bed. Everybody's in their own cell. And there's opportunity there. They can go to the impact program if they want to learn life skills. They can go to mental health. They can get on the right page if that's what they want to do. And all we can do is, as they say, give a hand up instead of a handout. And that's all we're trying to do.
Heck yeah.
But there's a lot of good people with a lot of great heart. That's, you take Terry, you look at her history, and she's not running for anything. But she could have retired. She was a state probation officer, but she's like these people that we all are trying to be. She said, you know what? I've got so much experience as a state probation officer. I can go to community corrections and take what I've learned, what I've seen, and I can try to make the world better. And so she goes beyond retirement, takes on that task, and she's made the world a little better. And and the same with Tim here. And I know he's not asking me. He's retired from the Gadsden Fire Department, so I think he's got a paycheck. He's the county commissioner, and that's probably just a little bit of pocket change. And but he doesn't have to continue on, but he's got the heart to do that.
Right.
And it's just good to be around good people that are all pulling in the same direction.
Well, that's what you touched
It
on
really is a lot of help.
about us as leaders in Etowah County. I don't know how many times I've never seen it like this before.
Sure.
Of this, the county commission working with all the mayors.
Yeah.
We get invited to the Mayors Association, which didn't happen. We're a standing invitation for all the county commissioners to come to the Mayors Association meeting, have dinner with them, and it's refreshing to see that kind of cohesive community doing the things we were doing. And saying that, we met with Representative U.S. Representative Mike Rogers the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a small group that Mayor Taylor got together, and he looked around the room and just pointed his finger. He said, "This is how it's done." He said, "This kind of working together, this kind of community, this kind of cohesiveness, that's how you succeed." He said, I've got places in my district where they don't do that. He said, and they don't succeed.
Yeah.
He said, that's how when a company comes looking at your community and they see a lot of disgruntled people and they see people that are fighting in government, well, they're not coming there, and they come to this place and they see us all working together and moving in one accord, moving in step together. Yeah, we don't agree on everything. We even on the county commission, we'll agree to disagree that we don't think the same way, but at the same time, we'll leave there and go have lunch for that matter. We're okay with that, to not always agree, but we know we're all headed in the same direction. We're all moving this county forward, and I'm excited about being part of that.
One of the things that I've noticed that's something that I've done for years is counseling with people with mental health, and Jerry's helped me with that and helping deal with homeless people. I've done that for years and helped that situation, and it's very sad. But I've noticed I struggle with mental health issues. I've had that for years, and depression, and it's not it's something that circumstances will wrought those things on you, right? In one of the recent years here lately, Alabama had 840 people die by suicide, and that is tragic. In a we have 1.5 million or 1.3 in the state. Is that what it is? And 840, and then you got 210,000 that have identified with some sort of depression that has been diagnosed in the state of Alabama. It's refreshing to have a commission, a sheriff, CED mental health, and other organizations. You work closely with religious organizations as well that help that. Talk about you've already talked about the partnership within the county government. Talk about the partnerships that you guys are bringing about with CED's one of those, with other organizations, and how important it is for those guys to get involved, churches, civic groups, individuals to get involved with mental health issues, because you see it every single day. You saw it yesterday. I don't know if that was breaking news that Tim gave about your wreck just a minute ago, but we didn't say anything. Just FYI. You had somebody walking down the road. We had someone yesterday on the bridge again in Gadsden threatening to jump. Thank God for the training from police officers that were able to talk that man back.
That's right.
Back down. So talk about community involvement and what we can do.
Kudos to Officer Roebuck.
Yeah. He's a good guy too.
And got him the guy to come back from that. So big news there.
Yeah.
There's so many good groups in Etowah County that are doing great things, from churches to other, all of them are pulling their best in the right direction to get our folks the help they need, whether it be for just basic needs or for mental health and stuff like that. One of the best groups that just has my heart is Maximizing Mental Health.
Yeah.
They're having a fundraiser tonight, I think, over at Back 40. They're doing it. I think Adam and Reagan are playing there, which is always a good time. And
as long as he's got shoes on.
People who don't know, Back 40 is not necessarily a beer company. It's a restaurant that you can have sweet tea and you can have some good food. And there's a bunch of kids playing football in the front yard. It's a cool place.
That's true.
That's fun.
But they're having that tonight. But they do such good work. David and Kelly Cochran are the head, and they don't get a salary from that. They're just doing for the community.
Heck yeah.
And it's a great thing. But
yeah, true. And it takes a lot of, you have to identify all of your stakeholders. And as you said, Jeff, it takes the entire community. For instance, and what we've got going on with Alabama Department of Mental Health, we've got Laura King and New Life. They're a big part of it. The Fellowship House, Clinic 5.
Yes.
A lot of our religious organizations are faith-based places. One of the places that I've connected to just here recently is Father, I call him Father, it's Pastor Joseph Simmons. He has the Fatherhood Initiative program. And Pastor Simmons, he's just been a testimony in my life. I heard of the guy forever. I ended up, I might tell the story the last time, we get a little Winnie dog and I have to go to dog training, and here he is, that's him. And so connected with him, and he has an organization called CDP. And I always get it mixed up, and he corrects me because I'll say it's called CBD, and it's not called CBD.
No,
it's called CDP.
Different.
CDP 2000, not CBD less than 3%. It's CDP 2000. And I bring that up because it's the Fatherhood Initiative program, and he has a vision over there on East Broad and Hope to put a building there on that point. If you know where that land is, it's right there. And to put a place there for homeless, and to bring many organizations that do, for instance, food ministries, and put them under one roof, and really centralize and be I guess, and the Bible talks about one or two can put so many to flight.
That's right.
The more there are, the more you can. And we're built and stronger in numbers. And so he's really doing good with that. And they've got a conference. That's what I want to mention. May the 15th at the venue. I think it's $40 a seat. It's $80 or $320 a table because there's 8 seats at a table. CDP 2000, you can look it up. It's a 501(c). They do a lot of good things, and it's a great thing to sew into. I bought a table. I think I've got 4 seats, so there's 4 more seats. If somebody hears this and wants to go, text me. But it's a really good organization. I want to bring that up. They play a big role in it. In our impact program, it takes these people. He comes over and teaches the Fatherhood Initiative program for a week. We have others. We have, Lana Gaskin that has wrote some grants, and they come over and teach a motherhood class in the detention center with the women in the impact program. Gadsden State, Alan Smith, workforce development.
Sure.
Mr. Whited's his name for years. Mr. Curtis Whited, he's came over and taught GED preparation in jail. There's a host of people in and out of that jail that come and minister to people, try to help them get an education, try to place them in a job. And that's what it takes to be successful as a community. Everybody pulling in the same direction. Exactly. You're not going to save everybody, but if you save one and they save 5 more, that's 6 we didn't know about, right? So it's all a positive thing. So,
you guys offer not only all of that stuff, you have chapel. You have religious services in there. Right.
We have baptisms.
Baptisms. One of our members goes over and plays the drums for worship over there, and so you're giving them the mental health that they need, the physical health that they need, they deserve. That you said just a moment ago, they deserve it. That's right. And then the religious help that they need, spiritual help, because we all know that plays a deeper role than anything else. Your spiritual health, and that plays a role in mental health as well. One thing that Jerry and I have more calls probably than anything. We feed over 1,200 people every month out of this facility here in Rainbow City, and that's this is not a food desert by any stretch of the imagination, but there's food available. But over 50% of our people come from this area, the higher income area. They're supplementing paying their rent or their mortgage, buying their gas, and they're sacrificing food at times because they want to stay in this area for their kids, schools or whatever, low crime rate or whatever. Safest city, Mayor Taylor, I know you're watching, the safest city in Alabama. But 76,000 teens, that's something he deals with. He does our youth ministry. 76,000 teens have, in a recent year, in Alabama, have struggled with mental health issues. And that is astronomical. Are there avenues for teenagers to call, or parents of teens that are dealing with those types of issues? Who do they call to get help with mental health? Tim? 988?
Yeah, it's 988. And honestly, I'm on the background just trying to keep things together and move forward. Sure. The actual details, the sheriff probably knows more about that. I know that, a lot of the people that are involved in the actual touching people with mental health know a lot more about that than I do. I kind of work the 10,000 foot picture.
Sure. Gotta have it.
On the state level, trying to just get legislation that helps it, trying to get, what he was talking about, the inside case manager, they call that a stepping up case manager. That's a nationwide initiative that there was 17 counties in Alabama that were participating in it. And when I got involved in this in 2023 through a leadership program on the state level, that was what we decided. We wanted to work on mental health. And when we started talking about that, they said, well, we've got this thing going on here, but we just can't get anybody to participate in it. Wow. And so we as a group decided to address that. And the first year, we got 31 more counties put in it.
That's great.
And this year, we have all 67 counties either have a stepping up case manager in them that is funding through the state mental health board, or they have signed the paperwork that we want to do this. It's just a matter of getting all the stuff in place. So we've got all 67 counties. We've got a stepping up, which is what he's talking about. You have someone in the jail, once they identify somebody that has a mental illness, they start working with them to see what they need so that they can possibly get out of there and stay on the track, and then they hand them off to the outside case manager. But that stepping up case manager was really where this kind of started off with us on the state level, and then we did such a cohesive job and really a good job of making that work. The Sonny Brasfield from the ACCA said, I want you 12. There was only 12 of us in that group. He said, I want you 12 to be the core of, call this the ACCA legislative mental health advisory committee. Long story, long title for just working with the legislator to make sure that we get the legislation put through to help with mental health. And that's, it has to do with funding. That has to do with everything.
Yeah, sure.
And last Tuesday, my wife didn't know this, but
she does now.
Probably knows. Yep. But last Tuesday, I asked the commission to put me on the legislative advisory committee, whatever, or not, the county legislative committee. Basically, we go down and talk about what legislation we're going to try to push forward as a county association, all 67 counties working together. And I asked him to put me on that this year so that I could be in the room and have more input into mental health. Yeah. Really. And I'm actually, I didn't tell them, but I'm going to be working on roads too. So I'm working on some ideas.
You care about roads?
He's the road guy.
That's what they call me. They call me the road guy.
I've heard that. Like a couple great comments in here. And City Councilman Jerry Ramsey says, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
Somebody said that, I can't find it. It was something to the extent of when you talk about mental health, depression went up. They said it really spiked when Nick Saban retired.
Yeah. Seems legit.
I get it. I get it. Another great question here. They want to talk about, this is on YouTube. Hey, if you want the question to stay, jump over to Facebook. The question will stay on Facebook. It is, what is the hardest training? I'm going to paraphrase here. What's the hardest training when you're talking about someone who has drug issues to mental health and figuring out which one is which? I know there's sometimes a lot of self-medicating and
truthfully, in my opinion, a lot of mental health that we deal with today is a side effect from current and sometimes previous drug abuse.
I see.
I have some relatives, and they're clean today, but years ago they weren't. And they struggle today based on the effects of what that use was. Right. And co-occurring is simply they're already suffering from mental health, but yet actively using. So you first have to get the person off of the addiction. Well, and then once they get help with the addiction, then there is medications and you can deal with the mental health issues that remain because of the effect of the addiction. Yeah. And let me say this, that's why it's so important to never go down that road, and we invest so much in our youth. Yeah. And when you talk about partnerships, not to change gears, but I had a show that we do, and we just released it yesterday with Chief.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
Now there's a circumstance where he has started an Explore program. Yeah. Now that Explore program is for kids from 14 to 20 years of age. Right. Now, sure, we've got a lot of kids in that range at Rainbow Middle, where my daughter's a counselor, or over here at Southside, where they feed to. But then we've got Carlisle, and we've got Sardis, and we've got Whitesboro, and we've got a county full of people. Yeah. Well, over at the sheriff's office, we do the Student Leadership Academy. Once a year, it's 2 juniors from every high school, Gadsden City, Tile City, Edward County schools. We bring in juniors. Why? So that they can mentor the juniors behind them now that they're seniors and make a lasting impact in their school. Yeah. Well, instead of competing, embrace what Rainbow City's doing. Bring camp over. Hey, let's send the kids from the county from 14 to 20 over to Rainbow City. Yeah. We over there with a multi-purpose room and a jail and central control and all the things that these kids want to see and learn about. Then they can come over on their weekly meetings and see the sheriff's office, participate in things. And then eventually we get to the place that those are the kids that become those juniors. And working together, we're all pooling our resources. Yep. It's not about it's about us. Right. And when we do that as a whole, regardless of what color uniform we wear, what community, what city we live in, that's when we can make an impactful difference. I'm going to say something here that's going to start a fire just because I feel to say it, but I'm going to say it. We're dealing with that with our drug unit right now. I was an original member of this drug unit in 2003. That's been split up at the moment. Yeah. And I'm a person, I'm 2 weeks, 3 weeks from election, and I don't mind talking about it. It's hurting us right now. Yeah. You don't divide to conquer. You come together to conquer. Absolutely. You don't shoot fish in a small barrel. Right. It's very dangerous. There's a lot of crossfire. And so we're going to work on that. And I have a feeling, I'll say it by faith, we're going to fix it because we've got to work together. We have to be on the same team. The people that live in the city, they're poisoning people by selling drugs in the county. The folks that live in the county,
That's right.
they sell drugs. They're poisoning people in the city.
Yeah.
What our interest should be is not who the mayor is, not who the sheriff is. It should be what's best for this community.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the mayor is. It doesn't matter who the sheriff is. I can tell you this, there'll be another mayor of whatever city. There'll be another sheriff, and I hope I live to meet the next two, you know.
Heck yeah.
But that being said, I want to make a difference. And we're only going to do that by holding hands and letting our, here's a big word, pride and ego go. Pride and ego means nothing. Whether you're a person of faith or not, you're laying up treasures, but they're not here.
That's right.
What's here is going to collect dust, it's going to rust, and the moth's going to eat it, and it's going to be rotten. And I also was a mortician for a long time. I have never smelt a good smelling dead body. It's going to stink. You're going to have fluids come out of you that you don't want to see, and you're going to decay in the ground or burn in an oven, whichever choice you make. But your soul is going to live somewhere forever.
That's right.
And that's the lasting impact that we need to be interested in. And what overcomes everything? 4 words, love. That's it. So what do? You have no enemies. If you do, you pray for them, because it says pray for your enemies.
Right.
And if you can get to that place, that you pray for your enemies, that you want to see everybody succeed, whether they hate you or not. You know, I've got an election going on right now. I pray for my opponent. You know, I don't know him. I've never met him. He's got some kind of desire, and I want God to fulfill that. If it's sheriff, I want to help him when he gets it. Yeah. But I want to keep doing what I'm doing. And the main message I'm really saying is we have got to work together. We've got to. And even though we're the smallest county geographical, 13th in population out of 67, we can be a lot more than just the model for the mental health problem in the jail.
Right.
We can be the model of how to overcome a lot of things.
Yeah.
And, you know, we might be the smallest geographical, but there can be a lot of power packed in small packages. And I feel like that in Etowah County, we have the ability to do that. We just got to get past ourselves. That's what we have to do.
We going to church.
I told you he's going to preach.
Preaching
today.
today.
He's always got to preach in him.
Yeah.
Always.
I'm buying it too.
I am too.
That's incredible. Let's see. Brent Elrod said, you're a great man, Sheriff Horton. Evan Wildman said, Sheriff preaching today. Teamwork makes the dream work, Jerry Ramsey says.
Real quick, law enforcement, obviously. You guys fund the sheriff's department or the sheriff. It's not contained just to the outside world. You're men and women, all Camp's men and women, and Lamar's men and women. All of these people, the chief in Glencoe, all of those, they're first responders, or your firemen. Your first responders are dealing with that as well, because they're seeing it all the time. My son was involved in this chase up on the mountain, and he was the one that got in the fight. And I mean, it's come out already that he was the one. I laid on the floor that night and wept because I thought, thank you, Lord, for protecting my son. And thank you for allowing him to choose the driver to pursue instead of the passenger. And, you know, and his buddy was the one that pursued. And they go home at night. And these firemen that after they get down there and trying to save somebody's life, in addition to the police, they go home and they have to try to sleep. These men and women don't go out with wanting someone to get hurt. They never want anyone to definitely not die. And they would rather have a night that they don't have to engage anybody. But it's not the case in the world that we live in. And they go home and deal with mental issues as well.
That's right.
Talk about the things that you guys have in place, because we know first off that you guys don't forget your men and women that that are behind the shield, so to speak. So talk about that a little bit, and the pressures that come. You were a police officer in the line of duty for a long time, fireman for a long time. You guys have seen some stuff.
That's right.
How do you
I'm
deal
on staff
with
with Jeff. I've seen some stuff.
You know, that's right. People charging the pulpit.
That's right. Yeah, it's a real thing, and we do have peer support. People that they can reach out to, and it's a fear, unfortunately, for a lot of law enforcement because of NICS and involuntary commitments and things that go on people's records, and they become concerned. Well, if I go see a counselor, is that going to be documented? How's it going to affect my career? What am I going to move from here? But the truth is you can reach out to peer support, which we make those numbers known within the agency, where you can immediately contact someone that will listen to you and help step you through those if you need that. Obviously, a lot of people in law enforcement are type A, you know what all comes along with that.
That's right.
But I would resonate a message that I was that guy too, and I've seen some things, and even there's you need to ask for help if you need it,
Yeah.
because you just have to nip it in the bud, as they say.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. It actually takes more courage to ask for it than it would to sit back and do nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that being said, of course, I'm a person of faith, but your pastor, your church, your people that you confine in, that you love, that you're spiritually connected to. But we have those peer support numbers that we can reach out to, and definitely there's a lot of need for that, and the fire and the police and
Yes.
all first responders worlds, because it's just a needed thing. But that's where we are.
Well, I've heard conversations. My daughter's a first responder. She
Mm-hmm.
drives an ambulance, and had conversations with people like Jamie Grant, kind of
Oh,
he
yeah.
owns AMED, and some of those stories. Anytime I see him in an ambulance, though, I don't want in that one.
Yeah, that's a little
No,
sketchy.
I don't
Yeah,
want in that one.
I'm-
Hey, a couple good comments right here, and this is a John Henry Hill Jr. said. Hold on one second. Watching from North Gadsden, very honorable to hear you say you pray for me. Thank you. I also pray for you. He says a footnote, would love to be very nice to have a personal debate for public. Adam Stanfield said 2 great men right there. Thank you, Jeff, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it, buddy.
4 great men. I'll take that. I appreciate
When
the comment.
we were coming back from I was a priest in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, when we lived in the Outer Banks. So we were coming back from Rocky Mount. I think it's 64, maybe. I don't know the road.
Yeah.
And we had another pastor and I had come up on a wreck, and it was bad, and it just happened. We saw, when you're coming behind, you see obviously you see the cloud and what's going on up there, and we were there, and so obviously we pulled over and ran because it was bad. When we got to the car, there was a man that was decapitated. And so we're just up there trying to help the people that are around. And I'm telling you, for weeks, seeing that kind of image, just for me, you replay that in your mind constantly. What if we were 5 miles an hour faster? What if we left 3 minutes earlier? That could have been us, those types of things. But the images that men and women and law enforcement and first responders have to deal with, to me, is it is noble, and you can't sometimes just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You hear that all the time. It takes a lot more than that. It takes, like you said, community, brotherhood.
That's right.
You got to have that, and I'm so thankful that we live in a community now, and we have that with Sheriff James Hayes as well. One of my favorite brotherhood speakers in the world.
Yeah,
he was a great Bible teacher.
Yes.
A good friend,
especially
of our family.
over some bacon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see him eating and get his Bible greasy. But I'm so thankful to live in a community where we have men and women in law enforcement and fire department and first responders that actually care, that they give a rip.
That's right.
For the most part.
That's
how
right.
they got there.
Yeah.
That's how they got there.
That's it.
If they didn't get there for the right purpose right out of the gate, if they had some other kind of dream,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take long for you to drink the Kool-Aid.
That's right.
And start to realize this is what that's about. It gets in your blood, and that's who you are. And the brotherhood, whether it's in law enforcement or EMS or the fire department, whatever, it is there. It's that unit, and you start to breathe the same air.
Yeah,
I get that. I watch Blue Bloods. I'm a big Wahlberg fan. I get that show.
That's a good show, yeah.
Hey, let's talk about the chaplains and stuff in the jail, because you guys obviously offer more than all this spiritual
That's right.
guidance as well. Talk a little bit about that.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. It should be,
That's
right?
the core.
Yeah, agreed.
Within the jail, we have a full-time chaplain, and Todd Walker. He's actually my pastor's son at church.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Todd Walker.
Yeah.
Good dude.
A chemical salesman, former
That's right.
chemical salesman.
Good dude, man.
And a lot of people, Todd's a pastor, so he has that spiritual abilities or be able to help someone in that regard. But then the job's also there because it was originally put there as a professional job because of ICE. You have different people from different nationalities that have special religious diets, different ritualistic things that are required, and we want to be able to accommodate that and not offend anyone. So he keeps up with those kind of things from a professional standpoint. But at the same time, we allow chaplains or ministers to come in the jail. They have to go through Todd, and they have to have PREA training, which is the Prison Rape Elimination Act. You do that online and then get your certificate, bring that, fill out the paperwork. And then at that point, the only thing that's required, and I say this because that's always open for other ministers and other people that feel that calling. they'll get a time whether they want to speak to women or men, and he'll arrange it to where they can come weekly, monthly, or whatever their abilities are to speak to them. I know recently Church of the Highlands came up from like Birmingham and brought a jump drive and said, hey, we'll even buy the TV for the women's unit. Just plug this in at this time. And, they do a lot of things through podcasts and things, and they can be a part of that. No one even required to come in. But he does ask that you come in twos because that's just smart. Somebody to be with you, not necessarily for the safety aspect, but just to have, for those reasons primarily, but for other reasons. And but the ministry opportunities, we probably, if I had to say, have 20 to 30 different ministers that come in and out weekly at different times to different people. They're allowed to have Bibles in there. Again, those things have to be mailed to Todd. There's where the professional part of his job comes in. He has to make sure that there's nothing stuck in the Bible, that that's what it is a Bible.
Yep.
We get a lot of books, as long as they're religious in nature, from Amazon. They're delivered straight to him, and then he gives them to the inmate. So, anything educational, inspirational, spiritual, they can participate in. The chaplain program, even outside the jail. Now, Todd does show up if we have, an unfortunate, let's say, traffic fatality in the middle of the night in Walnut Grove. And he just comes there if there's any family or people there. But, if I'm there, I'll do that. Anybody can do those things, but it's good to have somebody specifically that's what they're supposed to do. So we do have that. We do have the chaplaincy program. And I want to put out there's availability for others to come and take a part in that as well. I've said before that as a community, and, the thought hit my head back during COVID. We had the Department of Health coming in. They were giving different vaccinations for different diseases and things. And someone had made the statement, this is the place to come because this is where some of your, and I'm just being frank here, this is where some of your IV drug users are going to be. These are where some of your people that have, outside marital sex, whatever you want to call it. These are your promiscuous lifestyles. If we can treat this here, then what can we say about there? Well, I say it's also where people are in, there are people walking around in jail, in my mind. You know what I mean? Because they're in bondage to something. They're in jail. They're just walking around. All that's happened here is the people got put in a physical jail that was already in jail. They was in jail before they got there. So what I'm saying is spiritually, that's why chaplains are needed. They're all bound up over there. Go over there because that's your field. There they are. They're in one place. If you can go over there and impart something to them, you've done something. And anyway, so there's all kinds of opportunity there. You don't have to go build a huge church. We've got 10 units. It's got a roof.
Got a built-in church right there.
We'll provide a podium. You bring your message.
And they're not even looking to leave by 12 o'clock.
The longer the better.
Somebody wants to get baptized. We got water. We'll get water.
Let's talk about this too on that same regard. Jeff and I know so many pastors who go through the same thing because just like leaders and you guys get a lot put on you, and I've seen it with Jeff for years and years and years. We have to take better care of our pastors, our ministers, our leaders with their mental health. Yeah. It's tough to see because you think, hey, I'm the pastor, I'm the senior, I'm expected to do all this, but you can only take so much.
That's true.
I think that's everybody. I mean, it is moms and dads trying to figure out how I'm going to put food on the table. I mean, it is mental health. It is a wide range of stuff that just hits people from all different directions.
True.
And things that affect you or you may not affect me the same way, and vice versa. The funding gap is something I know we've been in here for 43 minutes. There's a funding gap, right? So how can the community, how can organizations get involved? Where can they flow money to help what you're doing and what you're doing, or even CD mental health or whatever it is? I mean, how can we help with that funding gap? Because we know the state only has a certain amount that they can throw at it. Right. The county only has that. And you don't, this is what impresses me about you, Tim. You don't even have to do this. This is not even a part of what, as we old people call the road commission. This is not what you guys do. And I'm impressed that that's on your heart, that God's given that to you to do. So how can we help?
I think the general community, it's hard for you to get money into the county commission. I mean, that doesn't work.
Sure.
Get it into the people out in the communities that are doing the good work.
Yeah.
And I don't want to just single out one, but, the one that keeps coming up because it's tonight is Maximizing Mental Health, does a great job. There's a dozen others. Support those people. they're doing good work. They are making a difference. They're helping our community. And if it's one person at a time, they're just doing that. Give a little bit of your time with that. If you don't have any money, give some time. And I think this is the thing that I absolutely truly believe. It says the Lord will bless you, and He blesses whatever you give.
That's right.
If you're a money guy and you give money, I think He does bless you with more money.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a guy that can give some time, I think somehow He gives you more time. Not time of life. I'm talking about just time that you can give.
Yeah.
He blesses whatever He just compounds it and gives it right back to you, whatever that is, whether it's love, whether it's whatever. And I think that our community could help a lot just by volunteering more. And if you've got some money that you can give up, and I know a lot of people don't.
Sure.
A lot of people are struggling right now, and I get it. Everything is up. Everything is tough. But you do have enough time to stop it. See your neighbor.
Yeah.
Go see your neighbor that's homebound. Let's make it right here close. If that's all you can do.
And you've
just love the person next to you.
That's good.
And you've got organizations like the CDP 2000 or your local church or any of these other 501(c)(3)s. New Life is a 501(c)(3), I believe, and they depend upon grants and things of that nature. They're working in our facility right now through some more funding through the Alabama Department of Mental Health, providing substance abuse counseling to both the males and the females on the impact programs. And as well, they provide to a level medical assisted therapy through Vivitrol, which is some medication that blocks the effect of drugs or opiates and allows a person the opportunity. But it's very expensive. But through these programs, the medication is provided free. And then after they're released, they're still getting it up to a year. And I think Clinic 5 provides that.
Mm-hmm.
New Life provides the counseling portion of it. They provide the medical portion of it, I believe. Again, the sheriff has the keys to the jail, and I just want I want it to be that it's not full all the time and that everybody comes there, don't come back, and that people get changed while they're there. And that's what you want to see. Is that what's going to always happen? No, it's not what's going to always happen.
Yeah.
But we've still got to work at it. We got to do our due diligence, and we got to do our part. And another thing I want to say, I have found, because I got all kinds of problems. Everybody does, right? We all got problems. But one of the things, the best medicine that I have ever taken is somebody else's problems.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that
good.
is if I'm helping somebody else, what I got going on don't matter as much. And when I'm helping somebody else, somehow or another, what I got going on works out somehow or another. I don't know how. Now, the Bible says all things work together for the good of those that are called by the Lord and are working according to His purpose.
That's it.
You've got to plug yourself into the right things. But if you think you've got problems, go find somebody with bigger problems and start helping them and see what happens with your problems. It might not always happen, but it can be a big help. Look at third world countries. Look at the hospital. Go visit the jail, like I said. Feel good about yourself and help someone else.
But don't visit. I mean, don't do something wrong to visit.
No,
that ain't visiting.
You don't want that
to become a resident.
Do it. Yeah, you go to jail. Yeah, that's right.
One thing I love the fact is Tim, you just have a heart, probably from your service with the fire for so long. And that's what drove you to be involved in caring about mental health, right? As a fireman, we watch the TV shows. You guys sleep a lot, and
cook. Don't ask the sheriff what they do.
Yeah, I got that son-in-law.
Nick,
he
does.
Yeah, that's it.
Sure.
He cooks a lot.
He does.
But for you, it's like God just put this on your heart, man, and that's.
Well, I think God just put that in my heart where it's at. I mean, He's got His Spirit in there, and that's part of it.
Yeah.
But what the sheriff said a while ago was, this thing I did see over and over and over is we would get called out to check out a person that law enforcement was interacting with just because they weren't right. Something was going on here, and we needed to check them out medically just to make sure, they weren't whatever, check their sugar, check the things that can actually make your mind not work right. And a lot of times it would check out, but they just couldn't get right. They were mentally ill for something, or maybe they were on both substance and whatever. But it was always the choice to go to jail or go to the hospital. And the hospital was not doing anything for them.
Yeah.
And I can talk about that in just a second. It's something that we did that helped with that. But that touched me a lot. I mean, it's like, I know these people are struggling really hard, and now they're going to jail. That's not giving them any help. They are actually getting some help now. I mean, it's really a good thing.
Sure.
Now, if it's someone with mental illness, to get off the street and go to the jail, because that stepping up case manager will take them and start them. If they'll halfway participate, at least get them in the right medications and get them to where they can make a good decision and not, be in the mind that they're in and start to move in the right direction. But what I was talking about, the hospitals, there was a long time there that, if a person showed up at the hospital, if that was the choice they made, to leave the scene and go by ambulance to the hospital, well, the hospital would check them out. And if they had medications on board, street drugs, then they say, well, this is a drug thing. This is not mental health.
Right.
And so they didn't get any help for them. But what they actually had was mental health that they were trying to treat with street drugs.
Yeah.
And so, crazy as it sounds, one of the things we did on the plan group, the leadership group that got the stepping up going, we helped with some legislation that basically just said that mental illness and substance abuse can and often do co-occur. That opened the door for the hospital to be able to bill the insurance company and say that it's okay. That, we realize and we acknowledge that they're on meth, but they also have schizophrenia. Yeah. And we're going to treat that. And so it actually opened the door for them to be able to receive them and take them. And it was just that simple wording in a law that we were able to address and work.
That's something that you guys have done with Judge Hassel. You guys have implemented a mental health officer,
that's great,
right? So if somebody does go to the hospital, or if we have them here at our organization, we do a lot with Salvation Army. If we find one that is dealing with a mental health crisis, back when the Johnson, Ricky, whatever it was.
Ricky. That's right.
Yeah, he was the mental health officer back when we had an issue one time, and we called a guy, called him over. He evaluated him with the fire department, and he said, "I'm gonna put him on a 3-day hold." He was able to get them admitted, bypass everything, and let's get them the help they need.
So we have now that MCAT, that Judge Hassel helped started it, the Mobile Crisis Action Team, and we've taken this emergency service unit. We spoke about it last time. Chandler Nelson does a great job. And Chandler was out there the other night after that chase with that circumstance. He's a medic. He's deputized by the probate judge and myself. So he shows up on the scene and immediately can assess that person and can get them, instead of, hey, is it jail or the hospital? He can talk to them and get them directly admitted so that they can get. And before, when I worked on the road 20 years ago, it's sort of kind of, you have to get, if they were not married, get all the kids. Everybody's got to set an appointment. Well, when that week was going on, they might burn something down, tear something up, or kill themselves. Yep. Well, now they're getting at least the opportunity to immediately get assessed, get medicated, be evaluated, and they're not released until they're safe to the community. And that's a huge help. Yeah, absolutely. It saves countless hours of standing out in the yard with a standoff situation or trying to talk someone down. And he stays busy with it.
That's what happened the other day with the guy that drove off the bridge. And when they first got him, he starts talking about that he did it on purpose. And so within about 30 minutes, we had a community mental health officer at his side talking to him and getting him headed in the right direction so that so the hospital didn't say, well, he's okay, and turn him back loose because he just tried to commit suicide. That's right. So we were able to, whoever, I feel like I'm part of it.
You are part of it.
That's right.
We were able to get him the treatment he needed, get somebody beside him that they did put him on a hold and say, you can't go home and you can't go anywhere else because you just did this and we need to get you help. And so, it's just to keep him from going somewhere else and finishing the job, deciding I'm going to get this done. And that's, it might have saved that last guy's life. And so that's the community mental health officer is a big part of that. And I give Judge Hassel all the thanks for that. It was kind of funny. Right after I got elected, I went to some national class or whatever, and I came across this class in there. It's called Cahoots, and it was about. And it's with a C. It's our.
I understand that word.
That's what Jerry and Jonathan are in.
We're Cahoots.
It's something to do with mental health out in the street, like MCATs. And so I come back and I talked to Judge Hassel. I said, man, I saw this and I brought him some brochures. I said, I would love to see something like this. And he just starts grinning like a Cheshire cat. He said, well, let me tell you about MCATs. Because he was 2 steps ahead of me with it. He had already started this thing and got it going. And then he came to us looking for funding. And we basically said, heck yeah, we need that. And then we went to Gadsden, and they said, yeah, we'll help fund that. And so that was, that was one thing that we were working together on, was putting that MCAS in place, and it has done a great job. And it's helped a lot of people.
Scott's playing chess.
Terry,
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
that's the thing that Terry Bosbury saw. Said, I need that on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, that's something that happens here. Judge Haney and Mayor Taylor are very proactive in that here in this city as well, of getting people that come in the court systems and they go, they're not a criminal, they have an issue, and let's get them the help mentally that they need. And you guys are doing that with the court systems there. Look, from just a resident of Etowah County, I live in the county, and I'm thankful for the sheriff's department. I'm thankful for all law enforcement. But you don't even have to do this. This is not your job. It is, but it's not. And, most of the time we're seeing sheriffs, not all, but we're seeing most of them, they're just enforcing the laws that are there, and they're just riding out the time.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you're not that guy.
No, we're trying
never
to
been that guy.
Provide opportunity, not just because, I hate to be selfish about this, but what helps the community helps us, The more people we can keep from committing crime and doing drugs, the better our job is. We'd love to just ride around and cook hot dogs and hamburgers. We want to become firemen and just sleep and eat.
That's right.
I'll be honest. It's
there's the debate, right?
And make hot sauce.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, I had to bring a donut.
There it is. There it is. See?
As long as it's jelly filled.
That's right. It's a great conversation, and we'll bring you. Obviously, Jonathan, you were this twice a month, but our next show. We'll have you guys on separately, and we'll talk election.
Yeah.
Right. That's not what this show was. We had some very important conversation we wanted to talk about. Both you gentlemen are involved in an election coming up really, really soon, and we want to open up the platform to let you guys ask for the votes. But today wasn't the day for that.
That's right.
Yeah, this was
appreciate
bigger
it
than
very
that.
much. Why don't you hit our sponsors real quick, man? You were talking about it, and then you were fixing to forget it.
I was, and we appreciate you guys so much for.
I say our sponsors, they're to bring this show to you. So thank you guys.
We certainly want to thank Campers Unlimited. I really hate to even say thank you to this person, State Representative Matt Butler.
Easy.
We want to thank this guy. You may know him. It's Keep Momentum Going. Re-elect Tim Ramsey, County Commission District 4. It's a sponsor.
You're a sponsor.
No, you're a sponsor. Speaking of, I'll be sending that invoice out today. Election on May 19th. Very important day, May 19th.
That's right.
Just reading the scroll as it comes by. How about Joey Jones? Joey Jones Construction. Talk about a godly man, somebody you want praying for you.
Yeah, he's a great
You want
guy.
Joey Jones. Jared's Tactical. We need to get up there and watch you in action at Jared's Tactical. BYOB. Big D's Game Changer Sports Bar and Grill.
Can't wait till it opens.
Harker's
great.
I'm ready for that one. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Lobster.
Twigs and Roses Home Place. That's for your wives.
Great furniture.
And they got everything there. And so thank you guys so much, the sponsors for the Jonathon Horton Show. And we're so excited to be able to hang out and just have great, deep conversations like this. They're very important for sure. Thank you guys.
Sheriff, any last words to the community?
Yeah, we just, we love doing this, and I'm very thankful for the sponsors because it gives an opportunity for us to update people. It's a great vessel to be able to just educate people and give them the opportunity to ask questions.
Right.
And, if somebody's listening or you're scrolling and you see this 3 days from now, here in a couple of weeks, I'll be back. Write your question down, save it, and send it because all the questions, if you have that question, someone else has that question. So if we can use this platform to answer questions, educate, and just be a source of information, I think we've accomplished. And I think that's very important. And so I'm excited about it. Didn't think I ever would be, but I really am. I'm excited about it.
Well, how refreshing is it to have a sheriff's department, a county commissioner living out the theme of the Word of God? And what's the theme of the Word of God? The entire thing.
It's restoration.
That's it.
Yeah,
restoring men back to the rightful place.
Here's what I know. Joey Statham would never been sitting there.
Let me say, you brought up something. I'll say this in closing seriously. And
it's your show. Do what you want.
I am not a book reader. And my wife, well, actually, I'll just tell the whole story and I'll be real. It'll take about 3 minutes.
It's fine.
When I first got elected, a guy named Jameson Jenkins, who's an investigator now at the time, he had made me a little wooden box. And he put a little scripture on it that was engraved on the top of it. And it said, talked about the plans that the Lord, has for you and
Sure.
how you could carry them out. And he put that there. Well, I'm not going to lie. I misplaced that box. So a couple of weeks ago, we were looking to move down to our campaign headquarters, and I just wanted that box. I'm like, let me find that box. I want to put it in there. It wasn't about the box. When I found the box, there was a book in it. And the book was a hardback book. It didn't have a name on it. I thought, what's this book? Like one of these old school books. And I opened it up, and it was by an author named Mark Batterson.
Oh.
And the book was How to Play the Man. And I thought, where did this book come from? Which I found out my wife bought it for me about 4 years ago. So she must have seen something
Angie.
wrong with me.
I see you.
But she's like, oh, you found that book. And so I've been reading it for about a month. I'm not a great reader, so I had to do the audio thing. But Mark Batterson's book, Play the Man. If you read that book, I'm not a big reader, but it is so phenomenal.
Okay.
About, there's a book on how to be a pilot. There's a book on how to make a turkey or deep fry it. There's a book
Why you
on
look at
a
me
lot
like
of
deep fried
things.
turkey? You look right at me.
There's no instruction manual on how to be a man.
Right.
There really is not. Everybody has a different journey.
It's true.
Some have kids, some don't. Some have these people they can mentor, some don't. And sometimes we need mentoring ourselves.
Amen.
That's a great book.
Amen.
Same guy that wrote the book Stuck in a Lion's Den on a Snowy Day. You might have heard of that. The same author. He's a Christian author, but the book's called Play the Man. And there's just growth in some things, and that's something that's really helped me. And so if anybody wants to just get bored and want to be a better man, read the book Play the Man.
I'm working on the book. It's called How to Always Win Your 3-Team Parlay.
Oh, yeah?
Coming soon.
Well, you'd be able to afford that book in hardback or audio if you play that right, Jerry.
Exactly right.
Let me say
Go ahead,
thanks
Tim.
to the sheriff for what he's doing.
Sure.
The whole thing of this in the jail is not possible without the sheriff saying, yes, come into my jail. Yeah. He's got the keys to it. Yeah. He controls everything that goes on. He's probably out of control of some of the things that go on there. He can't control it all, but who comes in the jail and who doesn't is up to him.
Right.
And letting the ministers come in, working with the stepping up, that is a choice that he made to let CED Mental Health put somebody inside his jail. Those are the things that he has done, and I appreciate him so much in that because he's doing the things that we need in our community. And I appreciate you.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Tim. I do. I
All right,
appreciate
guys.
you as well.
Stay close, stay clean, and we'll see you right here. Matter of fact, we'll see you in 2 weeks right here on the Sheriff Jonathon